Okay. Well, I had planned to share many of the Guardian story. Uh-oh. You disappeared. Huh. Well, I'm going to start what I had planned. Hopefully you will be able to get back on, Brian. Then we can talk about some things because a couple of things have come up that I would like to hear your feedback on. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Seems like hi, Brian. Okay. You're muted right now, so I'm going to share the first Guardian story. Oh, there you are.
Brian.
Let's see. I wanted to I wanted to share with you something that's come up just recently. And in the past, I did a couple of classes with I think it was at one of the recreation departments here with teens, and they really, this was before I had the one rule, and they took to it really easily and actually put it to use right away. And so I've been, just what's come up is that I think I'm going to do this again with the one rule. And I'm going to use at least this first Guardian story as kind of an introductory lesson before doing the actual interactions with each other. Anyway, so that's kind of why I decided to share this. And anyway, I wanted you to know about that.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I know. One of the things that came up is that there's a new Guardian story coming up in me. So I'll be writing that soon. Okay, let's get. Hmm. Well, I don't know how long this is going to take, but there, it's coming. Okay. All of these stories were out of inspiration. So that's how I like to write. In fact, that's the only way I really enjoy writing. So this was in a previous form of these weekly shows, the Family Zoom Station, episode 15, The Bully and the Guardians. During the first part of this 1-hour show, I shared tips and strategies that create harmony with kids. Then we open things up for Q&A and discussion. That's when I have guests. When I talk about creating harmony with kids, I often bring up the one rule. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids, use the one rule. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. You find an idea that everyone likes, then you have agreement. When you follow this rule, you find harmony. You discover what needs to shift so that everyone involved feels good about the situation. It has never failed me, and I've used it. Even though I had not isolated it and named it, it was very much a part of raising my children and working with students as a Montessori teacher in our Montessori school, as well as with students in public schools. The story I'm about to tell you is just an example of the one rule at work in the lives of these characters. If different things were important to them, if they were in different circumstances, the one rule would still help them find harmony. The Bully and the Guardians. Timmy was walking to school. He was going the long way so he would not meet Jeff. Jeff would always say things that frightened him. Jeff called him names and threatened to beat him up. He was glad that Jeff wasn't in his class. Jeff was older. Timmy was also glad that they didn't have recess and lunch together, but there was after school to deal with. He wished his mom could take him to school like lots of the other kids. Their moms and dads took them to school, but his mom was a waitress and had to be at work before he left for school. He didn't know his dad. He got his own breakfast, got ready for school, and left extra early so he could walk the long way to school. He and his mom were new in town, so they didn't know many people. He wasn't very good at meeting kids. He was quiet and used to keeping to himself. He was in the 2nd grade, but he was small for his age. When he was just a few blocks from school, he heard a couple of girls behind him. They were talking and laughing. One of the girls said, "Hi." "Hi," said Timmy. "I'm Pam, and this is Jenny. What's your name? You are new here, aren't you? Where do you live? I haven't seen you walking to school before." These girls were older. They looked like they were in the 5th or 6th grade. "I'm Timmy. I am new, and I don't usually walk this way. I'm going a different way today. I just don't want to meet a boy named Jeff. He's been mean to me." Timmy felt safe with these girls. He felt comfortable to talk with them. I think I know who you mean. He's in the 4th grade. He's a bully. He likes to pick on younger kids, said Jenny. Oh, yeah, I know who he is, said Pam. I've heard about him picking on little kids for a while. We should do something about that. Yeah, we should. I wonder what we could do, said Jenny. Do you want to walk with us, Timmy? Asked Pam. Sure, thanks, said Timmy. We'll be your guardians, said Jenny. Great name, Jen, said Pam. I sure feel better having guardians, said Timmy. Hey, maybe we could start a club, the Guardians, and we could help protect little kids from bullies, said Pam. Awesome idea, Pam, said Jenny. Let's do it. I'm sure some of the other kids would like to join. Let's see if we can talk with some of them before class. When they got to school, before Timmy went to line up, thanks, Pam and Jenny. It was fun walking to school with you, he said. We should thank you, Timmy. Thanks to you, we have an idea for a great new club, said Jenny. Maybe we could have vests or scarves or caps that say Guardian on them. Another great idea, Jan. Do you want us to walk you home after school, Timmy? Asked Pam. Sure, said Timmy. You're in Miss Jensen's class, right? Asked Pam. Yes, said Timmy. We'll pick you up there. Just wait for us. Tell her we're picking you up. She's nice. She'll let you wait for us. We'll be there as quick as we can, said Pam. After school, the girls walked Timmy home. 2 of their friends joined them, a girl named Lacey and a boy named Ken. All the way they were talking about the Guardians. This day they took Timmy's long way, but they were talking about taking his short way tomorrow. They all agreed that if they were all together, there would be no trouble from Jeff. They were right. They saw him, but he didn't come near them. I need to get a little water. At the end of the week, when they got to Timmy's house, Timmy's mom was on the porch. She invited the kids for a snack. Hi, kids. You can call me Kathy. Hi, Kathy. I'm Pam. This is Jenny, Lacey, and Ken, said Pam. She said that Timmy had told her all about them helping him and about the Guardians. She wanted to thank them for helping Timmy when she couldn't, and she wanted to share an idea with them to see what they thought about it. While they were having their snack, she explained that she'd been taking a class online, learning how adults and kids can get along better, and even how kids and kids can get along better. It was called the One Rule. It was simple to learn, and she was thinking that it might help them as guardians. It's fun too, she said. How does it go? Asked Pam. In the class, we have partners we work with, and then we perform for the group. Let me tell you how we do it. What's the rule? Asked Jenny. Oh, the one rule is agreement. That's how we solve problems. We decide on something we both like and we agree to solve it this way. Then we act it out for the whole group. That sounds fun and easy, said Jenny. Yeah, let's try it, said Pam. Lacey, Ken, you guys want to try it, right? Sure, said Lacey and Ken. What do we do? Asked Lacey. First, you choose partners just for the first solution. You can switch partners later if you want to. Then you decide on a problem you want to solve. Everyone can work on the same problem, or each group can choose their own problem. Just remember, you have to solve the problem by figuring out something you agree on because you both like it, explained Kathy. Let's think about solving something about bullies, said Lacey. Yeah, that's what the guardians are all about, said Jenny. Timmy, do you want to be my partner? Asked his mom. I just want to watch, said Timmy. Okay, this time we'll just watch. After about 10 minutes, both groups were back. So who wants to go first? Asked Kathy. We'll go first, said Pam. Okay, first tell us what the problem is you're solving. Then show us how the solution works, said Kathy. We decided to solve a problem of bullying during lunch. Sometimes we see kids taking balls away from younger kids. Here's what we came up with, said Pam. She explained that the guardians would help hand out the equipment at lunch. If someone did not get something to play with, here's what the guardians would do. Pam played the kid that did not get a ball. Since all the balls are taken, what can I help you with that you would like to do? Asked Guardian Jenny. Man, I really wanted a basketball. There are 6 groups playing with basketballs. You could join one of those groups. I wanted to play by myself. I'll go with you and see if you can join one of the groups if you'd like me to. I know all those kids. They won't want to play with me. They won't want me to play with them. Oh, look, Carl is playing by himself now. Shall we go see if he'd like to play with you? I don't know. Do you want me to go ask him? I guess. Okay, wait here. I'll be right back. Carl says, yes, let's go. I'll introduce you. Then Pam and Jenny bowed, signaling the end of their play. Everyone clapped. That was great. Yeah, that should solve a lot of problems at lunch. It makes everyone feel cared about. What a great solution. That could solve the problem of bullying. People who feel cared about don't bully other people, said Kathy. Where next, said Ken. We're not going to tell you the problem. You'll know it when we do our play. I'm Guardian Ken. I walk up to someone on the way to school. Hi, Jeff. I'm Ken. Can I walk with you for a while? Mom, whispered Timmy. They chose my problem. Yes, they did, whispered his mom. Why? Asked Lacey, who was playing Jeff. I want to invite you to join our club. Why do you want to invite me? I think you'd be a great member. I think you'd fit in great in this club, and that the club would be lucky to have you join. What's the club? It's called the Guardians, and we especially help kids who are being bullied by other kids. I figured since you're big and strong that you'd make a great guardian. What do I have to do? Well, we just started the club, and right now we're helping kids go to school and home safely and helping kids be safe from bullies at school. We get together after school and practice ideas to help kids be safe. Want to join? I'll think about it. I hope you decide to do it. I think you'd be a perfect guardian. Okay, I'll do it. At least I'll try it out. Great. Let's meet where they hand out the balls at lunch. Do you mind if I walk with you to school today, Guardian Jeff? They took their bow and everyone clapped. I want to be a guardian for kindergartners, said Timmy. Great idea, Guardian Timmy, said Pam. You kids have convinced me. I'm checking out being able to earn a living doing this work with the one rule. Now I'm convinced I've got to do this. You want to come over and do this regularly? They all agreed. Bye, Kathy. Bye, Timmy. See you next week. Thanks for being here. Okay.
That was a good scenario.
Uh-huh.
The girls had good heart from the beginning, but they didn't really have a plan till they got some guidance. But they had a good heart. They wanted to be guardians and they wanted to do the right things and protect their friend. But till they learned about, taking action on it in a positive way, then they actually set a plan. And I like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, they just knew that there was a problem. They said, well, we'll be your guardians, we'll protect you. And when I first saw that, I was thinking, well, they might get themselves into trouble themselves unless they have a little bit of guidance about how they're going to protect, because they could get themselves in an issue too with that bad kid, But
Right.
then when they got it together and came out with a plan of how they're going to do things and followed through, it all worked out. I like it.
Cool. Yeah. This story got read also to a 10-year-old boy, and I got his approval too. So that was cool. When my children were growing up, they all on their own. This was something they took on by themselves. But I think it was when they were in I don't know if it was junior high and high school. I know it was high school, but they had something, they were peer, I don't know what they called them right now, but they were like helpers, like kids could come talk to them. They were part of, I think the school psychologist put this together, that kids who other kids could talk to if they needed help or whatever,
Yeah.
And so this was, I liked that idea a lot. And in long ago wanted it to be the power of respect. Now the one rule takes care of all of that. So makes it simpler, I think, and clearer.
That's why I like the schools that have character education programs.
Uh-huh.
I like
Yeah.
those. They seem to work well, and it's something that they discuss on a daily basis. I visited a school once where they had an assembly every morning, and the whole school met in the cafeteria, and then they were allowed to talk as long as they had inside voices and all. It was the whole school in there. But then when the principal arrived every morning up on the stage and said good morning on the microphone, they responded, but then it was quiet automatically, and they were trained obviously to be like that. And then she always had, like you do here, a prepared story or something to share that they were to keep in mind throughout that day, you know.
Uh-huh.
So she had like a prompt every morning, and that was the first thing they did before they departed to their individual classrooms. They met in the, and I just thought that was impressive, the way that principal ran her school like that.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Yeah, because it brings everybody's focus to something beyond, whatever they left in the morning, at home or on the way to school or whatever, and brings
yeah,
it.
and they're all on the same page, right? You know, the whole
Yeah.
school heard like, it's kind of like the morning announcements, but it was just a prompt to make your day go well. The
Nice.
teach the principal shared something every morning, and then they were to depart in silence back to their classrooms and contemplate, whatever she mentioned, and I guess the
Uh-huh.
teachers must have been trained to follow up on that theme throughout the day whenever it was appropriate. So,
Huh.
and I asked
Interesting.
about it. She said it was a character education program that she had bought into, that, and she tries to keep that alive at her school. And I was just there for one day as a visitor, but it was impressive the way she handled it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a principle that was important to her.
Right.
Have harmony, you know, in in her school environment, and
Nice.
it worked. It was working.
Yeah.
Because what I saw was that they knew to be silent after she came onto the stage and said good morning. They knew to be silent and be orderly to get back to their classrooms. So the school was functioning very well, and everybody was on the same path. It was good to see that.
Wow.
A lot of the other schools I visited, you know, they could
Yeah.
learn something from this place. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Um, I had an insight which came to me over the weekend. I was remembering, it was when I had stopped working at Children's House and I was writing my book. Um, they they asked if I would come back and help them. There was one child who uh, was really being a problem for other people, hurting other children and stuff. And so I came back, and it turned out it took about 2 weeks um, to help this child transform, really. Um, but what came to me, okay, I remembered one time when we were in one of the rooms at Children's House, and uh, the there were a few other kids in there, and I was there with the little girl because I kind of became her shadow for this time, just like always with her, helping guide her
Mhm.
in the moment. And so the the other children, they wanted to, it was like, uh, okay, I'm gonna be the mom, and And somebody else said, oh, and I'm going to be, like this. And I said, well, who should I be? And one little girl said, well, whoever you want. And it was like, and then they would play out, I mean, this is what kids do. And I was thinking, like, this, you can be whoever you want. That's like, that fits in with the one rule exactly, right? And because if somebody was like, if somebody said, well, I want to be the big sister, and somebody else said, oh, I wanted to be the big sister, then they would work it out like instantly. It wouldn't be a big conflict, whether it was, okay, then there are going to be two big sisters. Oh, let's be twins, or
competition.
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have
It
to
just
fight
would,
for it. Yeah.
right. It flows, and it's like, it's what I was thinking when I remembered this situation was that it's almost like, because I actually learned the one rule from children, that it's almost like it's how we're wired. I mean, we might change the wiring as we go along, but that we're wired, because kids play those games all the time. The interaction, I'm the prince, and I mean, whatever roles they take, the role playing, it's just, it's what they do. And I hadn't put that together with the one rule, and how no wonder, like, I gave very few lessons, and yet all the kids got it, because it's in their nature. And so I set the guidelines by letting everybody know that we're going to find things that everybody likes. And these were with the children's house children, so they were all like, mostly 5 and younger. So between, I don't know that the two, I don't think the 2-year-olds were into that, but 3-year-olds, yeah, 4, 5, they could, it's just, anyway. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm gonna go on to the next guardian story. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I have to share the screen. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share. All right. Okay. The Guardians: Pam, Jenny, Lacey, Ken, Timmy, Jeff, Elaine, John, Mitch, Mary. Guardians coach on the one rule: Kathy, Timmy's mom. The guardians had been coming to Kathy and Timmy's every week to practice using the one rule to help them in their roles as guardians. They took turns bringing snacks so that Kathy wouldn't have to feed them all, especially since their numbers were growing. They dropped the snacks off at Timmy's and Kathy's when they picked Timmy up so they could walk with him to school. Today was Jeff and Elaine's turn to bring the snacks. "Hey, Timmy, here are the snacks for the guardians meeting after school," said Jeff, as Timmy opened the door. "Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Elaine," said Timmy. "I'll be right out." Timmy sure wasn't afraid of Jeff anymore. In fact, they were good buddies. Jeff had been in the Guardians for a few weeks now. Ken had invited Jeff, just like in the demo that he and Lacey did that first day. Jeff discovered how good it feels to help other people. He loved helping hand out equipment at lunch. He used the one rule to make sure everyone felt good. He no longer felt like all he was good for was making trouble for other people. Now he felt proud of himself. Now he got smiles from other kids and adults at school. Everyone knew him and called out, "Hi, Jeff." Jeff invited Elaine to join the Guardians. She was Jeff's younger sister. She was actually in Timmy's class. And since they were both guardians, they had become very good friends. At one of the weekly practice sessions, the guardians had learned that when they saw kids who looked like they might be having trouble, they could go up to the kids and say, "Does anyone want some help?" That was Jeff's and Elaine's specialty. Then the kids would tell them what was happening, and the guardians would use the one rule and help them solve their problem, usually in minutes, so it didn't cut into their playtime. Sometimes now, kids who were having problems would come to one of the guardians and ask them to help them solve their problem fast. The guardians were wondering about teaching the one rule to other kids, all the kids who are interested. Then they could solve their own problems fast. In fact, today that was one thing they wanted to talk about before they practiced using the one rule. They knew they'd have to talk with Miss Jensen. She was the teacher sponsoring their club, the Guardians. She made sure they had approval to walk to school with kids who felt better walking with guardians. She got school approval for the guardians to help out during lunch and even recesses. She was also the one who came up with the idea that when they were working as guardians, they would work with at least one guardian partner. All the guardians wore something that said guardians on it, a vest, scarf, cap. They tried to decide on one type of clothing and color, but finally realized with the help of the one rule that the important thing, the thing they all really wanted, was that it have guardians printed on it. "Hi, guardians," said Kathy. "Great snacks, Jeff and Elaine. Those are from you, right?" "Yes," said Jeff and Elaine. "I thought of bringing the fruit," said Elaine. "And I carried it and added the cheese and crackers," added Jeff. "I made lemonade," said Kathy. "It's all laid out on the table on the porch. Let's have a snack, then we can get started." "Kathy," said Pam, "we want to have a meeting before we start practicing. We have at least one thing to talk about, maybe more. Sure, said Kathy. Do you want me to be part of it, or shall I have my snack inside? We want you to be part of it, said Jenny. It's about the one rule, and we learned that from you. Sure, said Kathy. Let's eat. Then we can focus on the meeting. After they were all done eating and cleaning up, thanks, said Lacey. That was a yummy snack. You're welcome. Pam, are you going to lead the meeting? Asked Kathy. What's this all about? Sure, I'll lead it, said Pam. We'd been thinking that there might be other kids who would like to know how to use the one rule. If they knew how to use it, then they won't always have to come to us to solve their problems. We've asked a few of the kids. They don't want to be guardians, but they'd like to know how to solve problems fast. Miss Jensen said that it would be helpful if every class had at least a couple of kids who know the one rule and could help out in class sometimes. That's the first thing we want to talk about today. So what do you have in mind? Asked Kathy. Jenny had an interesting idea, said Pam. Explain your idea, Jen. Well, my mom is on the PTSA, the Parent Teacher Student Association. Sometimes she talks about the meetings. She really likes the guardians and that I'm in the club. In it, you're one of the founding members. You came up with the name, said Pam. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, one of the things she's always talking about is fundraising. They do things to earn money for things like the 6th grade trip and other things. I was telling Pam about this, and we came up with a great idea. Let's do a fundraiser with the PTSA, teaching the one rule to anyone who wants to learn, kids, grown-ups. Grown-ups sure need to learn the one rule, said Jeff. You got that right, Jeff, said Lacey. Hey, I have an idea, said Ken. You know how we decide on the problem and then figure out our demo and then perform the demo for everyone? What if the fundraiser came in 2 parts? During the day, we teach the one rule just like Kathy taught it to us. Then in the evening, anyone who wants can perform their demos on the stage for all their families. And the families buy tickets to come and watch. What do you think? That sounds fun, said Pam. Would you be part of it, Kathy? I'll have to make sure I'm not working on the day of the event. I think Kathy should get part of the money that comes for the fundraiser, said Mary, one of the newest guardians. Oh, yes, that was part of the idea. The guardians are going to get some of the money too. Of course, Kathy would be paid to be the head coach on the one rule, said Jenny. Think of all she's done for us and never been paid, said Lacey. Well, being paid for coaching at this event makes all the difference. I can just arrange to take the day off. So any day works for me, said Kathy. Does anyone have any other ideas or questions about this? Asked Pam. Since no one responded, so I guess we all agree that this is a good idea. Let's decide what we need to do next, said Pam. We have to talk with Miss Jensen, said Elaine. Timmy and I can do that, right, Timmy? Sure, Elaine, said Timmy. Pam, would you come over and talk with my mom with me? Asked Jenny. We can do that today after practice, said Pam. That sounds good, said Jenny. I think we should all talk with some of the kids who've said they want to learn the one rule, said John, another of the newer guardians. We can tell them about our plan and see what they say about it. I think that's a good idea for any of us who want to do that, said Jeff. We can all report to the group next week. Oh, yeah, any of us who want to do that, said John. I'm learning about agreement. It's the best, but I'm still learning. I just had a thought, said Mary. What if kids from other schools or groups want to learn how to be guardians for the kids they're with and start their own guardians club? Great thinking, Mary, said Pam. That sounds like it could easily happen. Well, we could teach them. It would be great if Kathy could coach them, but you have to work, don't you, Kathy? I'll have to think about this, said Kathy. It sounds just like what I've been wanting since our first meeting. I'll say yes, I will be the coach, even for other groups, and maybe put on other events like the one you thought of, the one we've been talking about. This is like a dream come true. This is a dream come true, a dream coming true. It'll work out somehow. It's too good not to. Okay, before we start our practice, let's get clear on what we're doing next. Elaine and Timmy are going to talk with Miss Jensen. Jen and I are going to talk with her mom, and anyone who wants to is going to talk with the kids who are interested in learning the one rule. Right? Asked Pam. Right, shouted the guardians. Okay.
Kids are very cooperative and goal oriented, and it all works.
Yeah,
Tell that kids in that story have they're not new to this.
right.
You know, there was no arguing. Everybody progressed in a positive direction, and they all respected each other's ideas, and they kept moving forward, forward, forward. I didn't see any setbacks. Everybody was cooperative. The people, even down to who's going to bring the snacks. See, a lot of these kids that aren't responsible, I don't know, it was my turn to bring them, and then when the other ones ate snacks, they appreciated them and told them thank you, and we liked it. And when they found issues that were brought to the table, they all gave input and then agreed to accept everybody's input, and it all worked out. I wish it were that easy,
Right.
all the time. I wish people were trained to be cooperative and work together.
Well, that's what I want to help happen, because I
Hmm.
know it can happen because it has.
Yeah, and
And
it works with children and adults alike, I think.
yeah, I think so too. In
As long
fact,
as everybody stays on path, yeah.
yeah,
So they had some guidance from the mother, and that helped.
right.
And then I think the mom can trust them from now on, maybe to work the meetings without her sometimes, or she could be removed, and the kids will still follow process and
Yeah.
solve their other problems. It'll just become a habit for them.
Well, that's what I think happened at Children's House, is that because I only gave a few lessons to a few of the kids
Hmm.
on finding solutions that they both, whoever was involved, that they liked. Only a few times did I actually work with a few different kids. I didn't
On,
have to work with all of them, but they all got it.
well, it's a parent though that, to me, it's really evident that you are leading by example, but you're giving specific examples. You're not just having them follow away. You're actually defining it and having them give it back to you. And not only just say theories and talk about things, they actually act out for action. They follow through. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're
Yeah.
not just memorizing rules. The one rule, there's 10 things you need to learn. It's not nothing like that. It's
Right.
it's just I always want I know you may when I say this, but it's not really compromising. It's agreeing on the things instead of saying that there's lack or something missing or my ideas were shot down. They were accepted, but they were incorporated with the other folks too, with what they
Right.
thought. So it's a little bit of everybody's input, not just like a one leader, you
Right.
know. That's what I talk about teachers instead of being the teacher. I like to say they're like a facilitator. They're helping, like especially in Montessori, you know that the kids are encouraged to discover things on their own, not just to be
Yes.
told, not just to be told, here's what we're going to do. They can discover the stuff, and that's when it makes it more fun. And I think that's why these kids in your scenarios are so excited about things because their discovery method. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
we can do it. Yeah, we could do it. You don't ever hear any of them in your scenarios going, no, that won't work, or I don't like Timmy anymore, or Karen the mom. I don't want to work with her. Everybody's open to. It's like one of these things I like to teach. There's no one that isn't supposed to be here. And I would say that in my
Ah,
class. We're all on the
nice.
roster. Like, I don't want Billy in this class. Well, he's on the roster. He's one of the people. He's part of this. We need to accept that. And his input counts just as much as yours. So it all works out when everybody agrees to that.
You know, it, this reminds me, all of a sudden when you said that about somebody complaining about one of the kids,
Hmm.
I don't want him in there, whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there was one time when I was substituting in a fifth grade class, and there was one, and this was like for a week or something like that. There was one little boy that nobody liked, and he would do things like throw spitballs at other kids and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I don't know. One day, I just had this idea because there was this one blank wall, and um, and I used to do things like this with little children. Like, okay, you want to throw the ball, you can throw it here. And
Hmm.
so they had a place where it was okay to throw.
Yeah.
And so I
Hmm.
did this with this fifth grade boy. I had him move his desk over near the wall, and he could throw paper, spitballs, whatever he wanted. He could throw it at the
Hmm.
wall. And when he was done, then he went around and picked up all the papers. And after that, uh, one table of boys asked him to come join them. This was like, I mean, these kids didn't want anything to do with him before. Something happened with that.
Yeah.
Some,
Acceptance.
yeah,
They accepted him. And what happened was he had a negative self-esteem of himself. He was just trying, kids try to get your attention, if it's positive or negative. He went the negative route because he already felt in his head that he was labeled and he needed to keep up his responsibility of being the bad kid with spitballs and all that, because that's who he was. But
Mm.
when it didn't become important anymore to do the spitballs and all that, and he saw that he was the only one making a mess, he probably cleaned it up and they all saw all that and said, come with us. You're one of us now. You're not that bad
Yeah,
kid
that's what
over
they
there.
did.
You're not separated. You're not the bad kid on the other side of the room. Come be with us. Join us. And wouldn't you rather be with the crowd being accepted than be the kid across the room that's not? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that
yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I liked it too. And he
accept this.
did
They let
too,
him
and the
in.
other kids did too,
Mhm.
because he wasn't going to be throwing things at them anymore. So,
And that's a changing point in that one boy's life. You know, that's going to be a staple in, how he felt when they let him in. And now he might be the person that lets the next bully in, or the next outcast, or the next
right.
misfit join the club. He might be
Yep.
the next one to do that, become a leader, because he had the
Oh,
qualities, he had the independence, but he was just going about it in a wrong way. But you didn't
right.
take it off him. You didn't take it off him. You said, well, here, just do it over there. That's what you need to do. And then when it wasn't a thing anymore, he wasn't getting to you by doing that. Oh, now it's not special. So why should I keep doing this? But but he went and cleaned it up. That's a good thing. He saw that no one else is making messes like that. He just felt it wasn't right and he wasn't accepted. But no one cared because he had permission. Yeah. I
Mm.
like what people say, oh, it's free country, I can say whatever I want. Well, it doesn't mean that you should, you still need to be careful what you say, and
Right.
have some kind of elegance, and some kind of morals. Just because you don't have to doesn't mean you shouldn't act responsible. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not Saturday. I'm not going to take my bath. But you're disgusting dirty. You're playing in the mud all day. Oh, good idea, Grandpa. Oh, yeah, that's how it works here. I don't say you don't have to take a bath, but wouldn't it be nice to be clean? Wouldn't it be nice when you go to bed tonight that you didn't have spitballs and dirt and mud all over you? Yes. 'Cause why would you want to do that? Why would you want to sleep in that mess? Well, they get it. But
Yeah.
I think it takes a while, takes
Right.
time. All right. Good session, Karen. I had fun.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm glad I
Good
could
to
make
see
it
you.
this time.
Yeah.
Well, now that my granddaughter's back to school, I could fit some more things in, but I was spending a lot of time with the family for the what I'm saying is
Great.
I'm getting out of holiday mode.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Moving back
Well,
to
I'm
work.
I'm glad you had a wonderful time. Really
All
glad.
right. We'll be
Okay.
in
Well,
touch.
yeah.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
My pleasure. Truly.
All right. Bye,
Take care.
Karen.
Bye.